Welcome back to Reeled In. I forgot the intro. 1 second, just give me 2 seconds.
Welcome back to Reeled In.
I know.
Okay.
I got this.
My bad.
Hello.
Locked in, but not in the podcast.
Hello. Welcome back to Reeled In. I'm Asman.
I'm Sam.
I'm Alex.
I'm Avery.
And this is a podcast where three film buffs attempt to reel their friend into their world of cinema, and she in turn attempts to do the same to us. The friend in question is Avery.
Hello.
And now's the part of the podcast where you start talking like a normal human.
Okay, so I can stop doing that now.
soothing-
That was like my
soothing
interview voice.
Your interview voice.
Interview?
Yeah.
What do you mean interview voice?
He's a reporter.
You talk that way during interviews?
What interviews have you done?
No, like when I'm interviewing people.
When
When have you interviewed people?
Well, when I was like interning, like at like CNN.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm being hold on. I'm sorry.
Fuck off.
Let's pause this for a second. I'm
Alright.
actually let's pause this for a second. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
I did like this like 2-year stint at like CNN.
Honey, as someone who wrote your resume, I know you didn't. I know what job experience you have. So don't even go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna. That's crazy. Okay, we're gonna cut all of that out. Okay, so
Leave
this
that.
week,
Leave it in.
this week, we will be discussing Coach Carter and Uncut Gems.
Yes.
Coach Carter is the movie that Avery recommended to us, and Uncut Gems is the movie that I recommended to Avery.
Yep.
Let's just get into it. Let's start off with Uncut Gems.
Yep.
And so Avery,
Yes.
going into it, what did you expect? And
Yes. Okay, so I was not going in blind because you had kind of told me a little bit about what it was.
So what did you know?
This is what I wrote. About basketball and gambling, not going in blind. So I thought, so there's this documentary, I forget the name of it, but there's this documentary that I watched a few months ago that was about basketball, like college basketball players, and how like people would gamble on the score of the game, and how they would actually talk to the players to get them to like have the scores different or like win by X amount. So I thought it was going to be about that.
Okay.
I thought it was going to somehow
Like fixing
be
games and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was going to be about that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Oh, and I knew Adam Sandler was in it because you guys were like, he plays a serious role.
So, so did you like think it would be like a comedic type of film? Or,
No,
like,
because you told me it wasn't.
Okay. That's
So,
okay.
so, yeah. What do you want? Like,
Okay. Like the plot of the film.
Okay,
Give us
the
like a little rundown
okay.
of the film.
It's
your own
okay.
words.
So basically, the movie is about Howard, who is the main character.
Yep.
And he's not a gambler, but he's not your like stereotypical quote unquote gambler in the sense that he's like at casinos 24/7.
Well, casinos aren't the only way you gamble.
Yeah, but it's not like,
I would say
the
he's more of a gambler than
mainstream-
someone who goes to a casino.
okay, well, so he's a gambler.
Yeah.
And he owns a jewelry store,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say, or an expensive item store. And he gambles.
He does.
And he gets himself into a lot of debt.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this, he buys this, like, gem that's from some
Ethiopia.
country. Yeah. And he's like, dude, this gem's worth millions of dollars. And then he gives it to this, like, auction person, expecting it to be auctioned for, like, millions of dollars, but it doesn't. And he's like, what the fuck? And,
Yeah.
and then there's this basketball player, Kevin Garnett,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants the gem because he, like, borrowed it and then performed really well, and then when he did have the gem, he didn't perform well, so he's like, I need this gem,
Right.
man. And, that's the movie, basically.
I'm sorry, a little bit off topic, but you're into like basketball,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Are you a fan of Kevin Garnett? Any?
He retired, like, a year or two into when I would watch the NBA.
Okay.
I'm aware of him.
Mhm.
He's a cool guy. He won a
Okay.
championship. That's pretty
What
cool.
team do you support?
Raptors.
Okay.
What team do you support?
I don't watch basketball.
Okay. You guys watch basketball?
I used to. When I was
I hope
like...
everyone has a good time. That's all.
Yeah.
Let's have fun,
When
guys.
I was like 12, I used to watch the NBA sometimes, and I'd support the Denver Nuggets.
Why?
I don't know.
Because he loves chicken nuggets.
There we go.
Yeah.
We'll say
Literally.
that. Yeah.
Alright.
We love Denver Nuggets.
Mm-hmm. Name one player on the Denver.
I swear to God, I could not name a single fucking player. It's because my friend used to watch basketball, and he was like, dude, the Denver Nuggets. I was like, oh, that's a funny name. I'll support them. That's all.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's actually fair. That's why in college basketball I support Duke, because I think that's a funny name. Duke University.
Duke Kaboom.
This is like the States. What?
Duke Kaboom.
Sure.
Like the game.
Never
No,
heard
that's
of
not
it.
the game. That's like the
Duke Nukem?
Right. Who's Duke Kaboom? Isn't that like the Keanu Reeves character like from Toy
in
Story?
Toy Story.
Okay.
What?
Anyway, back to Uncut Gems. What did you...
You want my notes?
Sure,
I'll just read off
let's
my
go
notes.
through your notes. What did you...
I'll be honest with you. I think I was expecting to like it, like to really, really like it, because you were like, oh, it's about basketball. And you like, I used to play basketball.
Maybe I misled.
Yeah,
it's
really
I
about
was
basketball.
like, oh, I'll really like this. I'll be honest, it's not my type of movie.
That's fair.
It's not, you know, it's
Okay.
not my type of movie. I think there was a lot of choices that were made in the movie, which aren't necessarily, they weren't bad choices, but I didn't really like them.
Okay.
An
Like
example.
the character made bad choices?
No. No, I have nothing wrong with the character. Well, I'll
You
get
made
into
all
that.
the right choices.
You made all the right
Okay,
choices.
so you mean like
No.
from a filmmaking perspective?
The main one for me was like at the beginning, like in the store, and I think in the club a few times, there was a lot of like times where the characters would like, there was a lot of people talking at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a choice. I didn't like it.
Okay, that's fair, but I think that's the whole point of the
I
movie.
understand it, but I didn't. I felt like claustrophobic.
Yeah,
watching
that's the
it.
point. That's
I
the-
don't like that.
Okay.
Though. I don't
Yeah,
like
that's
that
fair.
feeling.
Okay, look,
I need to breathe, man.
That's completely
Which
fair.
is why I said it's not a bad choice. It's just not one that I really
It's
like.
interesting though, and I feel like you know, we've kind of talked about this in the past, just like off podcast, just like, you know, when we're hanging out. I
We don't
like
hang
it.
out.
Okay.
I'm not fucking friends with you.
This is a strictly professional
It's a
relationship.
professional relationship.
I've never. Yeah.
But no, like I like it when a movie can like elicit any sort of reaction from me, right? So even if I'm feeling terrified or just feeling miserable while watching something, I respect that. I'm like, yeah, this movie's really good because it's making me feel this way. My first time watching Uncut Gems, I watched it like when it came out, like 2019, I think.
Sure.
And I felt like it was a really tough watch. Like it's really stressful. And like you can barely breathe watching the movie because everyone's talking over each other. There's so much going on. Everything's falling apart. And I love that. That's the reason why I love the movie so much, that it's that stressful. Like to me, and of course this differs for like every single person, to me that isn't like a negative thing for a movie to make you like stress
Right.
out, you know?
Yeah, I don't go into a movie wanting to feel a specific way. I just want to feel what the movie wants me to feel.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if
You know.
the thing you feel is like a negative thing, like you feel sad or you feel angry or like stressed out, is that like a bad thing for you?
Right. Like if the movie wants me to feel that way
yeah.
and I feel that way, then it's successful.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? If I go into like a comedy and it makes me laugh, then you know it's successful. If I go into a movie and it's trying to make me cry and it does, then it's successful.
Yeah.
You know? And that's all I really care about, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't go into a sad movie that's trying to make me cry and be like, this is bullshit.
I'm not saying
You know?
it's bullshit. It's just like I just didn't like it. And besides that, and the ending, which I'll get into in a bit, I didn't feel anything else.
Okay.
Genuine. Like
That's okay.
and
We'll get.
I'll
into
get into that
Yeah.
because
Supposed
that's
to feel
other.
extremely stressed out.
I was not stressed
Really?
throughout the
Really?
movie. I really did not feel stressed.
But you just said you were.
I was when in the scenes where they're like in the thing, I felt claustrophobic, but that was it. Like when he's at the auction or when he's like with the girl or whatever, I didn't feel stressed or anything.
What about like at the auction scene when you know?
I didn't feel stressed.
Really?
I can't. Yeah,
Okay.
genuinely. I'm not
Okay,
just saying that
that's-
to spite you
No,
guys.
that's
I
fair.
genuinely
That's
I
fair.
didn't.
That's
yeah,
fine. That's fine.
which is goes
I think
into
the movie achieves that so well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the shots being so close up on their faces, like
It reminds me of like when I'm like at work and like there's like 5 different people asking me something to like do
It's
something
stressful.
crazy out there. There's just so much to do.
No, like I think the film does that really well. That's interesting that it didn't work for you, because for me it did. Like at that auction scene when the guy keeps bidding, like, you know, one-upping himself, I'm like, fuck, like you need to stop. And it fails.
Sucks for him. The other...
I think a part of the stress is the fact that you know Howard's making the wrong decision at basically every turn. Yeah. And so it's like, just please, just stop. Just like, it's about to work out. Just like, take the money, you know, pay back this guy. And he's like, I'm going to gamble it all. We're going big this time. He does not
fucking stop. And the one time, I'm jumping ahead a bit, and the one time it finally pays off. The one time it finally works and he's home free, he gets shot in the face. And I think that's so good. Yeah. But, yeah, anyway, what else?
Yeah, my next point, well, okay, this kind of goes against everything you guys just kind of said, but I felt like the movie, for me at least, was bland, and in parts... Sorry, hold on, no, hear me out. Hear me out. I thought it was just kind of one tone the entire movie, the exception being the last, 3 minutes where he gets shot. That I was like, I wasn't expecting that. But hold on. And I feel like the movie wants you to feel things, or you want them to feel bad for Howard, the character. Like the scene where he, gets punched and then he, goes to his office and he's, crying. Yeah. I didn't feel sympathy for the guy. I was like, he's a fucking jerk. No. He's cheating on his wife. He's not showing up for his kids. I was like, fuck you, you asshole.
He's like a degenerate gambler. Yes. Yeah, you're not. I feel like you're not supposed to sympathize with him. But it's
I didn't feel anything in that scene. I feel like that's supposed to be a big emotional scene where the audience is supposed to go, oh, insert emotion. But no, I just didn't feel that with any.
I don't think the emotion is supposed to be feel bad for this guy.
Yeah, or any emotion, period. I didn't feel anything. I was just like, oh, he's crying.
I think it's you're meant to not necessarily feel bad for him because you know he's making the wrong decisions, but it's more so just like a moment to realize just how badly he's fucking up.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. You're like, how, he's in a, that's rock bottom for him, in the entire movie. That scene in his office when he's crying. And I don't think you're supposed to be I feel so bad, and I'm crying with him. It's just fuck, look at this guy. Look at the state of this guy.
You need a couple moments to really kind of let it sink in just how bad everything's falling apart and how that's affecting him.
Because the movie, when it starts, it doesn't stop for even a second. And I feel like there's maybe that scene and maybe two other scenes where there's a moment of respite and you can be okay, let's look at what's happened so far. It's a mess. This sucks. And then it only gets worse.
Dug his own grave.
Yeah,
True.
He dug his own grave. And
he did.
He does that.
And he keeps digging deeper and deeper, and it's dude.
The entire film. I do kind of, it is an interesting point to make that the film's one tone the entire time.
Yeah,
and
that
it doesn't that it doesn't make you feel any, major emotion.
There's
it
no,
doesn't,
shifts or anything. It's just kind of one thing the entire time. At least for me. I'm not a huge...
I feel like there are changes, but it's only it gets more stressful, or okay, it's gonna calm down a bit, and then it's gonna get more stressful. I kind of get the point of okay, there's no other emotions at play. I don't care about him that much, and he's dead. Okay, who gives a fuck? He's a horrible person, and I don't feel sad. I'm not crying or anything. I get that.
Yeah.
I don't think the movie's trying to do that, so I feel like it's unfair for me to criticize the movie for it.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting point nonetheless. So
yeah, those were the main negative things I had to say about it. In terms of positives, I really liked the acting, the performances.
The acting's amazing,
I think Adam Sandler, because I think there is sort of a double standard, I don't know what the proper term is, where it's harder for comedic actors to go more into dramas, where it's people let dramatic actors go more into comedies and get away with it, if you know what I mean.
It's funny, in the history of movies and shows and stuff, comedic actors that go into dramatic roles are more successful than
dramatic
actors that go into comedic.
But it's more difficult to go into comedy.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different rhythm.
I feel people call bullshit though on comedic actors trying to play more serious roles.
Not that often.
Because I think all comedy has an element of seriousness that you can build off of, but comedy is such its own thing.
Comedy is really difficult.
It is difficult.
It's really you have to make people laugh, but you need to not be aware of the fact that you're trying to be funny. So that's really difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest major example I think of instantly is Bryan Cranston, going from Malcolm in the Middle to Breaking Bad, which is one of like the
I don't know.
Okay, Breaking Bad, right?
Like
you know
Breaking
Bad.
I know it, but I've never seen it.
Well, like the main guy,
like the bald guy.
The bald guy,
yeah.
Like you know Walter White. It's
I've never seen.
It's okay.
I'm aware.
But you know his face, right?
I've seen the poster. I know they like sell drugs or something in a desert, and they like. Okay. Continue. I'll let you continue.
Well, the point I was making is that he used to be in this like I think it's a sitcom. I don't know. It's Malcolm in the Middle sitcom.
Yeah.
He used to be in this comedic sitcom. Like it used to be like a bullshit show, and then he came into Breaking Bad, and it's like one of the best like performances in TV history. Like it's like insane. And it works, and like Adam Sandler with this movie. I mean, this isn't the only dramatic role that Adam Sandler
No, but
has
he's
done.
more known for comedies.
Yeah, he is.
Like
I've
only seen him do comedies, but I think he did a very good job.
Isn't he like in a Noah Baumbach?
He is the Meyerowitz
story.
Meyerowitz stories. Yeah,
haven't seen that one, but
and Punch Drunk Love. PTA
oh my god,
so good in that.
Love
That's
Punch
probably
Drunk
his
Love.
best performance.
Yeah, that might be his best one. I'm a big. We'll talk about PTA someday, but Punch Drunk Love, great movie.
But lots of actors like Jim Carrey's another
comedic
actor that went dramatic.
Jim Carrey, going from doing the Grinch and like the Mask and stuff into like,
and he started doing like impressions basically.
He used to do impressions, and then he does like something like Eternal Sunshine. Or like
Man on the Moon,
Truman Show. He did like this recent one, Deep Water or something, or Dark Water. And it wasn't a great movie, I don't think. But
Sonic 3.
He did do Sonic 3.
Very dramatic performance.
Very dramatic performance.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's so funny how like he says, "Oh, I'm done with acting." But then he comes back, and his only exception is Sonic 3.
Yeah, because they're good movies. I don't know what you're talking about.
So back to just Adam Sandler for a bit. Are you a fan of him at all?
I enjoy him. I've seen Grown Ups. I've seen Hubie Have.
Happy Gilmore.
I haven't seen Happy Gilmore. I've seen Jack and Jill.
Okay,
I've seen You're So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah. I've seen There's others. I have seen that actually. I've seen like 51st Date.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Click.
Are you like? Do you like him? Like,
I enjoy him. Yeah, he's like I like
so
his
like,
movies.
were you like surprised at all, like seeing him? I mean, you've only seen him in comedic like.
I wasn't surprised, but I think he did it really well. I think everyone in this movie had a strong performance.
Okay. Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield's really good.
Lakeith Stanfield's so good.
He's in Knives Out. I know you've seen that movie. He's like one of the detectives.
He's in the movie for a total of like 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
He's in
Julia
Sorry to
Fox
Bother
is
You.
In this too. She's
it was
really
like a breakout role, right?
Yeah.
Julia Fox.
And dated Kanye West.
She did date Kanye West. That is the thing that happened. And then, she had the whole Brat Summer thing.
That's Charlie XCX.
No, I know, but like she was like, a big part of it. Because like...
Girl.
We're not...
so confused.
We're not going to talk about Brad Summer right now, but like her whole thing was like, oh, I'm so Julia.
Girl.
Okay. Anyway.
And Adele Dazeem, my favorite actress. She's really good in this.
Who is she? Sorry.
Adele Dazeem, you know who that is?
No.
Idina Menzel.
Okay.
Who?
Idina Menzel.
Adele Dazeem.
Idina Menzel.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm referencing the famous moment of John Travolta at the Oscars pronouncing it Adele Dazeem.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that.
We love Elsa.
Yeah, she's really good in this.
Yeah, she's really good in this.
Yeah.
She's had enough of Adam Sandler's shit.
Yeah.
She's
they also play husband and wife, and You're So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah.
Also, I want to ask you, what did you think of the opening of this film? Because it's a great scene. You start off with like the miners in like Ethiopia and like they're mining and stuff.
Where it becomes the galaxy. Like that.
Well, you go inside of like the gem, and it's like the galaxy,
I
and then you zoom out with like.
I knew that was a Shama. Yep.
No, but like it then zooms out, and it's like Adam Sandler's like asshole, like it's like his rectum, like his colonoscopy.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
Yeah.
It ties the two together because the title.
He got fucked in the ass.
Well, the title refers to the Rock, right? Yep. It's an uncut gem, and Adam Sandler's character also is an uncut gem.
He is an uncut gem. I'll let you think about that. Okay. Okay. Anyway, talking about the movie.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I love this movie.
Yeah,
I've
it's
seen
great.
it. I've seen it 2-3 times. I love the movie. I'm fully, unlike Avery, I am actually fully stressed out the entire time, and I like it. And I do feel claustrophobic because, especially those scenes. Well, I think of one of the big scenes I think of is when Kevin Garnett and Lakeith Stanfield show up to his shop to like give the opal back, and he wants his ring back, and they're just locked in the fucking shop. Like, they can't like enter the shop, they're just locked. And Howard's like, dude, I'm trying to get this fucking thing open. And then while he's trying to get the door open, some other guy shows up to get his own money, and he's like, oh, send him away. And then Garnett finally comes into the shop, and he's like, hey, where's my ring? Howard fucking sold the ring. He sold it like ages ago. And it's just all of his bullshit builds up, and it keeps building up. Like, you would think like, okay, it's reached like a climax or something, but it hasn't. Another thing I thought of when you were like, describing the movie, summarizing it, there is some aspect of like, I can't think of a good term, but the only thing I think of is like placebo. Like, there is some like placebo stuff going on, and maybe this is a little like controversial to say, but like the whole gem thing, and like, people who believe in stones and people who think stones are gonna like Alex is smiling at me.
No, go ahead.
He's like, I got my rock collection downstairs.
No,
Don't
but
go
it's
there,
like,
man.
Like, okay,
I got my amethysts on the shelf.
not that I have anything against anyone who's into anything. Do your thing. That's fine, unless it's like illegal or something. Don't do that. But like, do your thing. I respect it, and I wouldn't say this to anyone's face, but I feel like most people know, people who are not involved in such things, that gems, stones, and I don't know, let's say astrology, for instance, is more or less bullshit. I'll get to
all
my
the
point.
zodiac sign people are gonna be on your case.
I'm getting
You're
to my
making
point.
the world hate.
He's being what's your star sign? Typical Aquarius.
Aquarius.
That's
It's
so
not
Aquarius of
bullshit.
him.
Okay, maybe it's not bullshit, but it's not. People put too much emphasis on these things, right? And I feel like that's something we should be allowed to acknowledge. Like, the stars, the way the moon is looking someday, and like the way the stars are shaped, or the way that a stone looks, shouldn't affect your life in a major way, right? And when talking about the movie itself, just bringing it back to the movie a little bit, I'm sorry.
You just went on the side rant. So anyways, guys, what's your sign?
He wasn't happy with his star reading.
Yeah. What's your sign, Avery?
I'm a Gemini. What
You're
are
a
you?
Gemini. I'm a Virgo.
Ooh, what are you?
I forget.
When
When's
were you
your
born?
birthday?
January. You're probably
January.
Aquarius or Capricorn, I think.
Maybe one of those two.
Anyways,
Yeah, maybe
I think
Capricorn.
people just have an innate thing to want to believe in stuff.
Yeah.
You could argue that with like religion.
Well, yeah, okay, well, we're not gonna get
Okay, you're right. That is an aspect of this movie.
let me tell you.
Because he's obsessed with the rock.
Let me tell
There's
you.
a rock in the movie.
Let me
There's
tell you.
more
He thinks it's gonna
astrology.
give him luck to win the game. That's the point. That's why he wants it.
Exactly. And like, even Howard is like obsessed with this rock. And the reason I say this is because there's one scene in the movie, and I might be completely wrong. This might not even be like a real thing in the movie, but there's one scene where Howard finally gets the opal back. He gets the rock back, and it's the scene where, like, like Keith Stanfield, he's like, dude, where the fuck are my watches? And he kills his fish and stuff, and he's getting a phone call from his doctor. But Howard is wiping the rock, okay?
Yeah.
And the rock looks fake. The gems just look
I know
fake.
exactly what you're talking about. When he's looking at it, as opposed to Kevin,
Yeah.
it looks so dull. Like the colors don't really shine through. It doesn't look as magical.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. It only looks that way to him because he's the one that believes
Exactly.
in it. And Howard only sees money.
Exactly.
The object itself doesn't matter. He wants the money attached to it.
Yeah, and I've
right.
Yeah, I've seen the movie a couple times, and I didn't know if that was intentional. I didn't know if it was like a lighting mistake or something, but I think it's real. I think it's a real aspect of the movie that
agree.
Howard doesn't see the gem shine and Kevin does. And you could even argue, like, and maybe this could be the wrong part, did Howard get like fucking scammed or something? Is Kevin just looking for something to believe
He went
in?
on Amazon.
Because Howard
It's
makes
real.
Howard. Is it though? Like, are we sure? Because Howard makes a big deal.
I mean,
like,
the
oh my god,
auction
dude,
house,
I
they
fucking
had a guy appraise it, and he's like, yeah, worth like $150K.
Didn't he pay like $100 for it?
he
Or
makes a big deal.
$100,000?
Yeah,
He
so
makes
he made
a-
like 60 grand off it.
Right, but like he says, no, it's worth millions, right? Isn't that his whole thing?
Yeah.
I thought it's like every like carat or like there's 300 carat.
But I guess the guy that told him that is just wrong. And he just believed him.
Maybe. Because I feel like Howard makes a big deal about, like, oh, I paid these guys so little amount of money for, like, this fucking gem. Like, oh, Ethiopian workers, dollars mean everything to them. I'll just give it to them. It doesn't mean anything to me, right? And so he makes this big deal about, oh, I got this for so cheap. And I feel like that wouldn't happen. Like, in just reality, like, that just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's a bit naive.
Yeah, it's really naive. And I feel like he got scammed to an extent. And I feel like Kevin Garnett just, like, it's just... He was looking for something. Maybe he was on like a losing streak or something. And he's like, you know what? Maybe this rock is going to fucking help me. Yep. And he sees something in that. And that's how placebo works, right? Like, that's the whole thing. You
trick yourself.
Exactly. Like, you do like these, like, I don't know, I don't know why I keep bringing these things up, but look at essential oils, for instance, right? I'm so sorry. But, like, essential oils are not going to cure your diseases. They're not going to make you feel good. But
this is even less to do with the movie than
I know, but I'm making a point about...
All the people with their 12-step skincare routine are...
It's
all a conspiracy.
I'm making a point about placebo, because, like, you would take... Some people take essential oils, and they're like, okay, my diseases are gone. I'm completely fine now. It's because they want it to be gone, and they want something that's going to make them believe that it's gone. Similarly, Kevin Garnett thinks that, okay, this gem's going to help me win the games, and that's how that goes. So I think there is something going on with that, and I think it's really interesting. And you could get deeper into that and blame all sorts of people who do these things, these stupid people believing in such things.
It's a psychological thing.
I'm sorry, that was a joke. But...
No, it's definitely a psychological.
It is like and you have a cycle,
psychology. So I have a cycle. I have a menstrual cycle. Yes.
You do have a menstrual cycle, and you also have a psychology degree.
You also have a psychological condition.
You might. Yeah.
Can we talk about something related to the movie?
Coming back to the movie again. I find it hard. Okay, hold on. Avery,
He's just going to spew some bullshit. He's just going to talk out of his ass right now. All right, let's hear it.
That's an Uncut Gems reference. I'm sorry. Anyway. Avery, what did you think of the movie? And, like, what's your final, like...
My final, we're getting into... I hope you don't get offended. I'd give it a 3 out of 10.
Oh my fucking god.
I did.
Oh, wow.
I didn't like it that much.
Straight up disliked it.
That's
a bad score.
Last episode, we concluded that anything below a 5 is bad.
For me, the negatives outweigh the positives, so I gave it.
Can we go through your negatives again?
It's just fucking. That's what this podcast has been. It's just her saying what she hates about the movie.
It's not my kind of movie. I think they made some choices which I didn't necessarily like. They're not bad choices. I get why. They're just not ones that I particularly like when watching a movie, and the one tone throughout I didn't feel that much.
Did you like anything about the movie?
I like the acting. I like the performances from the different actors.
Were you not, like, invested in, like, seeing how this all plays out?
I will say the ending, I was actually shocked. I was like, oh, he got shot.
Were you not, like...
I wasn't that into it, because I didn't care about the characters.
Okay, that's fair. But, like, in the ending scene, when he's winning the game, are you not, like, okay, like...
on the edge of your seat?
Yeah, are you like, oh, how's this gonna end,
Not really. Like, you can, we'll get into another movie where it's unpredictable, but it's so predictable that they just win. Just wait. That they win the big thing when he's given the rock.
Okay, we'll get into that. Okay.
So, for me, I'd give it a 3 and a 3.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Alex is shaking his head. I'm sorry if you like this movie. It's just not my kind of movie.
I'd rather watch Grown Ups and Jack and Jill.
I would.
Is this your least favorite Adam Sandler movie?
I haven't seen all of his movies.
No,
but of the ones
you've seen,
it's down there.
Fuck me. Below what?
I don't I need to let me Google. I liked Grown Ups better than this. If that.
Okay.
I feel very judged right now.
No, we would never judge you.
I'm not saying.
Have a nice day, everybody. Goodbye.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, all the bits aside, I think
he's in Hotel Transylvania. That's a fucking good movie. I liked Murder Mystery. Pixels! That's a good movie.
Oh my god.
I love Pixels.
Pixels is better than Uncut Gems.
I liked Pixels better.
Would you have liked Uncut Gems more if it had a Donkey Kong in it?
Yeah,
Or
I
a
would.
Pac-Man.
I think we're just
Bedtime
doing,
stories.
I
That's
think
a
she's a
good
child.
movie.
I think we're doing
She is a child.
Leo's a good movie. Anyways,
Look, okay.
it's not my type of movie.
That's-
I understand how people would like it. I get it. I get the edge of I feel very judged right now, but it's just not my kind of.
No,
it's not a story that I necessarily
the thing
like.
is,
I
I
just don't.
can't give you too much shit for that because as much as I love this movie, and I love this movie, like I recommended the movie, I love it, but I do completely get someone saying it's not their type of movie. It's not a movie that everyone can watch and enjoy. There's a lot going on, and yeah, some people might not be into that. With that being said, I think a 3 out of 10 is criminal, but
We'll give it a 3.5 if you want.
Thank
I
you.
technically wrote 3.5, but 3.5. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Alex, what do you think of the movie?
I don't think it's a flawless masterpiece. I
course
wouldn't give it a 10. I think it's a solid 8 out of 10. I like it a lot. I don't have any big complaints with it.
Okay.
I would probably give it probably a 9 or an 8-ish, 9-ish.
Yeah.
I was stressed out.
And it didn't bother you? It wasn't
No,
a
it
bad
didn't
thing?
bother me.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
it made me feel like I was at work, but in a good way, because that's what they were trying to do. You know? Especially with all of the layering and all of there's just so much happening all at once. And it genuinely gives me a headache, but I can appreciate it for that because that's what they're trying to do.
I like a movie that gives me a headache. She obviously doesn't.
I
don't-
love
okay.
a movie that gives me a headache.
I like a movie that gives me a headache purposefully.
Yeah,
There are some movies that
exactly.
give me a headache that are not trying to give me a headache,
That's
but they're
true.
just
There
so
is-
bad
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Half of the movie she's gonna end up recommending.
Yeah,
to us.
I
Hey,
love
I
movies
recommended
that
a good movie this week. I don't
We'll
want to
get
hear
into
it.
We'll get into
We'll
it.
get into that. But
You all hated it.
I mean, okay, I've on Letterboxd, I have this movie on a 5. I don't think it's a flawless movie, but I love it. It's so much fun.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, but, no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, 5 out of 5. On Letterboxd, I give it a 5.
5
yeah.
stars.
And
We go out of 10 on this podcast.
My bad.
Yeah.
The real-in rating system. I need to get
Yeah.
used to that. No, I gave it a 10, but I don't think it's a flawless movie. It's just every time I watch it, and it's playing, I watch it till it ends. It's really engaging, and I feel like there's not many movies for me that allow me to do that. I can name a few, but this is one of them, and I think that alone warrants a 5 star. So that's me, and I love the Safdie brothers a lot. Maybe you would enjoy.
Yeah, we didn't talk about them at all.
Yeah, let's talk about the Safdie brothers before we move on.
Just briefly.
Yeah. This is their third movie?
They made a bunch of smaller ones. Their first big one was Good Time with Robert Pattinson.
Maybe you would like that one. Yeah.
That one's also extremely stressful. Maybe she wouldn't.
No, but it's Robert Pattinson, and
That's true.
Yeah.
Benny Safdie is also an actor. He was in Oppenheimer. You've seen that one,
Okay,
right?
I've seen
He
that
is
one.
an Oppenheimer.
He was like the Hungarian dude.
He is like an actor. It's not
he's
just like a
in Good
one-off
Time.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Good Time. He's in Oppenheimer.
Pizza.
He's in The Curse, the Nathan Fielder
That's
show.
true, yeah.
He's in Licorice Pizza as well, and he's a really good actor.
He's in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Right.
Yeah.
He's also in that.
I read that book.
Have you seen
Isn't
the
that
movie?
a Judy Blume book?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
Oh,
seen
he's
the
in the
movie.
movie version
There's
of
a
it.
movie.
Wow. No, yeah, he's a really, really good actor, I think. He's also in Happy Gilmore too.
Oh, really?
He is, I just saw it. He's in Happy Gilmore too, so.
And now he's directing The Smashing Machine with The Rock.
He is.
And Josh Safdie, the other Safdie brother, is doing Marty Supreme with Timothy Chalamet.
Which I'm really
Ooh.
excited for. The Smashing Machine has a trailer out.
It doesn't look great,
I think
in my opinion.
We're
about to find out who's the better Safdie brother. And I think it's Josh, unfortunately.
I guess so, but I think it looks interesting. It looks surprising. I've never seen The Rock like that. I
Yeah.
feel like he might put up a good performance for once in his life, and I think I'd like to see that.
See, The Rock is a good example of an actor that always gives a bad performance in bad movies, and when he tries, he's still bad.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler gives bad performances in bad movies, but when he tries and he's in a good movie, he's really good.
He's really.
Yeah.
It's funny. Adam Sandler is so self-aware of that. Like he
Yeah.
is so. I remember he went I don't know. Maybe it was like a post or he said it on some show or something. He was like, "If I don't win an Oscar for Uncut Gems, I'm gonna make the worst movies you've ever seen." And he didn't win.
Maybe he'll win this year. He's in.
Was he nominated?
No, he wasn't
No.
nominated, but he might be this year. for the Noah Baumbach movie.
Right.
He'll be supporting actor for that one, so maybe he could win. Anyways, now Avery
did you rate
recommended a movie.
it? No, you
I
did.
Sorry. Yeah. So we're gonna transition into Avery's recommendation.
Oh my god, guys.
Okay.
I think I'll let you talk about this a little bit.
Me?
If you want to.
I'll just introduce the movie. What is it?
This is a movie called Coach Carter. It's a movie that... Do you want... I feel like you guys should say the plot.
Alex,
I feel like...
do you want to...
So it's about a high school basketball coach, and he goes to this high school, and the kids, they're not doing too well in school. They don't care about any of that shit.
It's a rough neighborhood. It's
And he's like, I'm going to help turn their life around. I'm going to be an inspiration to these darn kids. Because his whole thing is that I want to help them get into college and make something of their lives.
Yes.
Yeah. And he coaches the basketball team.
Yeah. He also went and played basketball when he was a student there and grew up in that neighborhood.
Yeah. He's on the thing. On the walls. He's the highest
credentials
scorer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's all I have to say about
I really don't have much to say about the movie. I feel I don't even want to criticize the plot of the movie even a little bit because it's a true story and I feel like it's a bit
good plot.
It is. It's perfecly fine.
It's okay. It's there. It's there.
It's an inspirational story that on a production level, it's pretty competent, but in terms of what's actually happening on a deeper level, it's nothing mind blowing. It's just, it's a fine, fun movie.
It's a fine movie. It's you walk into the living room, it's playing, you're like, fine, fuck it. I hate myself anyway. I'll watch this.
I want to be inspired by Samuel L. Jackson.
I loved Samuel L. Jackson in the movie. I think he's
great.
He's really good.
He's always great. We love Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. I think I agree when it's you can't really criticize the plot because it's a real story. But I feel like it's a challenging thing to make movies that are especially when they're strictly following a real story.
Yeah.
Because they're what I think this movie kind of missed out on, and not to say that it's a bad movie because of it, but I feel it didn't really go further than the story, you know? Which I understand why, because of course you don't want to disrespect the people or the story itself, but I feel it didn't really use its film medium that much to convey something deeper.
Yeah, I feel this movie could have been an article, in a magazine or something. It would have been nice to know more about the main guy, Coach Carter. I feel you spend so much time with him, and yet you don't really get to see all the facets of him. And I don't expect them to show you everything, but it would have been nice to get to know him.
He doesn't feel like a character.
Though? He doesn't. It just feels hey, it feels like a motivational speaker, at all times. Yeah. He doesn't feel like a real, even
as
a
force of nature that comes into this school.
He lived in the school. You see him at his job. You do see him with his son and his family.
Yeah, but even with his son, he's GPA.
Yeah, because he cares about his son's future.
Of course, he cares about all the kids, but I feel like there's more to
I
feel like there's more to a human being than just that, and than being a motivational speaker. I feel like I wanted to get to the movie is called Coach Carter, so it does only follow his period of life where he was a coach. That's fair, but I don't know him at all. I just know he's a motivational speaker. He has
some good moments, he has some interesting things and conflicts that he has to deal with, but I don't feel like he's really challenged or pushed in a way that's
not.
Interesting.
And even
sorry, go ahead.
Even when he is challenged and they're hey man, basketball is all these people have, he has a really quick response. He's no, that's bad, it's not really an inner conflict maybe maybe basketball is all they have, maybe I shouldn't do this, he's really adamant on no basketball
because he's seen it firsthand with his teammates. He said himself some of them ended up in jail, some of them didn't go to school, and he's trying to make a better life for this upcoming group of kids.
Yeah.
And he's very strict on...
Okay, that's fair.
You know,
I think
it's not like this is the first time he's like, oh, if you question yourself as a coach, then people won't respect you. And
That's
I say
fair,
that
but like I
firsthand.
feel like it would
But
have
then he
been.
needs something else to give him character, like a stronger conflict with his son, maybe.
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
I feel like
something,
there's so
you know?
much potential. Again, it feels weird saying this because it's a true story.
Yeah.
So this is like me saying, no, you should have like fought more with your son. But like, I feel like
you don't want to sensationalize.
yeah, of course
everything.
not. But like, I feel like there's so much like there could have been so much conflict with like a son. You're at basketball practice all day with your dad. He's yelling at you. He like locks the fucking gym. He's kicking you out of like games and all. When you go home, would you not like talk about it a bit? I feel like isn't that like, and I'm sure that happened in real life too. You're like, Dad, you've locked the gym for 3 weeks now, man.
I just think he seems too perfect.
Exactly.
Like there's nothing to like, criticize him for. There's no internal conflict. He's not being challenged really. And I think that's the biggest issue.
It's also just because, like, once again, like, not to say that this is like a bad story or anything like that, but I think it's a very like clean cut story. It knows what it, well, I mean, of course, in like the actual real story, they didn't have something to say, but I feel like the message that the movie is trying to convey is really like easy to understand, and you get
easy
it by
to
the end.
agree with,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the
Like,
most
it's like
agreeable, accessible movie like ever. It's like,
Yeah.
But it's done in such a great way.
Is it?
I think so. And also, when going back to the conflicts thing, I think you see the conflicts in the players. Because they're the young kids. They're the ones each going through their own storyline and dealing with their own conflict.
But what about him?
Does he need a conflict, though?
He's
an adult.
Named Coach Carter.
the
Meaning,
main
yeah,
character.
it's about him coaching the kids.
I feel like the movie's like concentrated on like the wrong things when it comes to that.
I liked when he first kind of went there and the kids were all just like completely dismissive of him.
Yeah.
And I wish they kind of kept that a little longer.
Yeah, it really goes
warm
quickly.
up to him a bit more slowly.
Yeah.
But I love that first scene where like there's that one guy who's like, Lamal, look at this bald fucking loser, fucking baldy, and like he himself is bald. It's really good. Yeah. And then pretty much immediately they're just like, okay, we like this guy. I don't know about that.
Well, it's not. I mean, he literally pushes the guy against the wall and earns their respect. I think that's how it's done.
Yeah, I don't get that.
That's bullshit.
How?
A little
How,
lazy.
though?
I feel like the actual response they would have is like, oh, he pushed him against the wall. We can jump him. We can fucking just take him.
We should report him.
Yeah, maybe we should report him. Maybe we should just beat him up or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that. No, I know it's not a good thing, but I feel like that's what the response.
No, but it's like that's how he's earning their respect of don't fucking test me.
I'm sounding a little like pessimistic about the movie. I think it's fine. I think it's a fine movie.
I
just
defend
don't think
this movie till the day I die.
I just
will
don't
go on a
think it's
tangent when
like,
you guys are done.
You know, I've seen so many of these, like, what do you call it? Like hope slop movies.
Hope
Where it's
Slop
just like,
is crazy.
It's just like, you know,
I will strangle you.
It's like the kind of movie that like I would see my parents watching and be like, oh, that's like a cute movie about like, motivating these youngsters to do better. It's not bad. Like I like the movie. I'll say that. I like the movie.
That's a lot from Alex.
I'm just, I'm thinking about ways it could like really hit a lot harder because it's not really doing that for me.
The thing is,
it's perfectly fine.
Movies like this, I feel like they are what they are, and very rarely can they be anything more than they are.
Right? Yeah.
I feel like, and again, I've said this before, it doesn't feel right to criticize any plot points or any story beats in this movie because it's a true story, right? And I feel like if you wanted to talk about the story, you would have to get into like real life and their actual behavior and stuff and how things are like in reality, right? So the only way I can talk about the movie and judge the movie is by like technical stuff and like what it does well, what it doesn't do well, the way it's shot, blah blah blah, like
and
the
I think
acting.
that's all mostly fine. Like it's shot well.
Yeah, it's shot fine. It looks fine.
The music, by the way, Trevor Rabin did the music, who was one of the guitarists for Yes, which is one of my favorite bands.
Nice.
I was excited when I saw his name in the credits.
Nice.
And I think the music's great.
The music's fine. The
that's
acting's
not an
great.
issue.
I think everyone acts like.
I think the acting,
The acting's great.
The acting was
They're
really
all
good.
doing a good job.
But yeah, no. My only critique is that I wish we got more humanity from Coach Carter. That sounds wrong, but I mean, like, I wish we got to see more of him. more of his feelings and how he's, processing the whole thing and stuff like that. Because we do get scenes, but I think more of that would be nice. Seeing as it is a movie about him. Or maybe it's wrong to say it's a movie about him. It's a movie about the kids, it's a movie about basketball, it's a movie about Richmond as a whole.
But then the character, the kid should have more of an emphasis and less on him. Because a lot of the scenes with Coach Carter kind of, just repeating the same things. It's just him constantly reinforcing, like, I believe in my methods and I believe in these kids.
Yeah.
And it gets repetitive.
Yes. It does.
And some of that screen time should have been devoted to making the kids feel a little more fleshed out.
Yeah.
Or make Coach Carter more fleshed out.
Yeah. And, with the kids fleshed out, I feel like they tried that again with the whole, girlfriend plot. And I just, for me...
It's just not...
It just didn't work. It was not interesting at all. No, it is kind of interesting. Like
on the surface, but they don't do anything with it.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to it. It's just interesting. Like,
it's just such a surface level conflict.
Like his
girlfriend's pregnant, and then that's basically it.
Yeah, there is a little bit more to that. I think there is a whole like, oh, okay, like you really want this baby, and she's really dead set on having this baby, but then she's not living in the best of conditions. She's really poor. She doesn't have money for this. She's saving food on like food stamps and stuff.
Her sister already has 2 kids.
Her sister at 19 has 2 kids, and so he's like, this is not a way to live life. We need to be more than this. And she's like, that makes no sense to me. So I think that is like an interesting conflict.
That's explained in dialogue in one scene.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not a bad thing in the movie. I just think it could have been done in a way that's a bit more kind of engaging, that makes you more invested in wanting the best for these people.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't quite go far enough. That's the biggest issue with the movie. I think it's fine. It's not, it's not quite enough, I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I understand liking or even loving this movie. I don't understand thinking it's like one of your favorite movies. I don't quite get it.
No, I get that if it's like, it means a lot to me and stuff like that. And
it's not even that.
You just like the movie.
I really like the movie. Can I rant?
Sure.
Can I? Okay. Everyone has said what they want to say because this is going to be long.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
So, for me, if we go way, way, way back. So I played basketball for 11 years. So that's how I got introduced to this movie. My dad was like, oh, this movie's about basketball. It's a great message, blah, 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 blah. And I really liked it. When I first watched it, I really liked it. I think this movie, the main things that I look at when I watch a movie, because when I watch a movie, I can't, angles and shit like that, that doesn't register in my fucking brain. But for me, I look at story / plot, I look at characters, I look at acting, and I look at the message. I think this movie does those things very, very, very well, contrary to what everyone, or what you guys think. I think the messages in this movie, are so, so, so deep and so, so, so true. And maybe they're the same. No, the lessons you learn and you see so
it's a good message, do well in school.
No, there's more than that.
No,
there's so much more than that, Alex. There's so much more.
Oh, go ahead, Avery.
Oh my God. So so going to the beginning. So no, Alex, this is important. Alex is shaking his head right now. Starting at the beginning, it enters, he, gets this job as a coach for 4 months. And he walks in and all the kids are kind of ridiculing him and all that stuff. And once he earns his respect. Also, before I even start this, did anyone here besides me play sports growing up? You did?
I was on a baseball team for a year.
For 1 year, so not really.
I played soccer in high school.
Okay, but not.
And I did play basketball a bit too.
For okay. Yeah. Did you, Sam?
I did dance, if that counts as
okay.
sport. But
well,
not like
a team. Well, I guess it is a team.
I did music.
Sport.
That's a sport.
That's,
Okay.
So
a real workout on the fingers.
So
I'll tell you that.
I played Guitar Hero, man.
I did play Guitar Hero. Dude, Guitar Hero is great. It's so much fun.
But
I was on the trivia team throughout high school.
Yeah.
Exercising the mind.
Anyway, yeah.
So it starts with Coach Carter coming in. And he's, the kids are all ridiculing. Basically, the main emphasis is before they sign up before they agree to being on the team, they make them sign a contract. In this contract, there are things that you have to do. You have to have a 2.3 GPA, attend all your classes, sit the front row in the classes, and then you will have the privilege to play basketball. Because extracurricular activities are a privilege. Mm-hmm. People always, they are a privilege. So some of the players walk out. They are, Alex. Okay. Some of the players walk out because they're like, this is bullshit. We don't need to blah, 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 blah. And some of the players stick around. But what happened, like, okay, the first message that he kind of like tells them is to respect each other. The whole sir and ma'am, but sir in this case, they're all like, you will call me sir, or I will call you sir, which is a very important thing of like, respect your colleagues, respect your teammates, respect your elders, your teachers, your coaches, whoever. It is a important thing. Next, there's the whole upholding, like, okay, when we get more into the conflict of, they're not, basically what they do is they start winning, they go on a winning streak, and then eventually Coach Carter's like, I need these progress reports to make sure my students are, or the kids are doing well in school. And then eventually he gets them. Alex is sleeping. And he realizes that they're all failing class. And that's when it causes a whole lockout of...
And he freaks out and like throws shit all over the
He does.
Well, because they're not... Anyways.
What did he expect?
Them to do well in school. It is part of a contract. You sign a contract. And one thing that I think he says...
makes you very good.
Student comes first. Student athlete. Student comes first.
Bars.
That's a quote.
That's a good line. That's a good line.
And in the other thing that I really like, in the whole like court-ish scene, there's a part where he's like, if these students can't uphold the conditions of a simple basketball contract, what are they gonna do when they go out into the real world and like they think they can like break laws and stuff like that, which is very true. It's very true. If you cannot commit to the simple terms of this little thing, like what are you going to do in the future?
I will say, I think that's the most interesting conflict in the movie, is that even the school board kind of gave up on them, and they're like, just let them play.
They're like, just play basketball, but he wants them to be more than just basketball players. They want them to be a good person and build their future.
There is something to be said about like complacency and, you know, oh, you're in like a bad neighborhood.
Right, they just accept
this is just the way it's always going to be. We're going to accept this.
But Coach Carter tries to fix that because he's witnessed it firsthand growing up and going to Richmond and witnessing all that. And
I will say about the lockout, because he has a lockout, the kids can't play basketball until they get their grades up. And then he puts like a lock on the gym so no one can get in. And I just think it's funny because like, what about like the other gym teachers?
It's funny. And in real life, he did actually do that, but then
his own personal lock and he just locks the gym.
Yeah, like in real life, he had to take it off because other people had to use the gym.
Anyways, but yes, and then they do the whole. Also, one thing that I really, really liked, and I say this as being on a team, everything you do, you win as a team, you lose as a team, you are there with a team. One of my favorite scenes is where Cruz, one of the players, he's like doing his 1,000 suicides and his whatever push-ups, and he doesn't reach it by the deadline because he's like, you have to do this by Friday, and he doesn't. He comes short of however much, and then the players one by one go, I'll do push-ups for him, I'll run for him, and it's just a really great scene for me because it's like, that's so true. Like, whenever you win as a team, you lose as a team, and I feel like the relationships you make being on a team, at least in my personal experience, are unlike any other relationship you have in your life, because you really do see each other at your worst and you see each other at your best, and you really have to be there to support one another, or else it all falls apart, or else you're not gonna fucking win. You're not gonna be winners. You're not gonna, it's so deep and it's so true. And I just say this like,
I mean, it's maybe true. I don't know if it's like deep.
Maybe it just impacts me more because I play sports and basketball, so I relate to it much more.
Every sports movie is about that, though.
But this one's executed so well.
I completely get what you're saying, and genuinely, like,
I get it.
I admire you being so passionate about this film, and the film itself not being complete bullshit. Like, it's a real film.
It is!
It's like an actual thing. It's not fucking How to Build a Better Boy that you're just it's like a real film. And so I love this.
It's a good film.
It is a good film.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good, it's fine. It's just like, it's like Alex said, it's like hope slop. Like, that's what it is.
Slop's crazy.
Like, I think it does what it wants to do well. It's just, it doesn't really do much more than that. Which is fine.
And but also doesn't do much for me. Maybe if I watched this film, like, maybe if this was like one of the first films I ever watched, or like I watched this like when I was like really young, I'd be like, whoa. Like, wow, this is really... But I can think of so many other more effective, life-affirming films.
Yeah.
And this is just...
This is the top for me.
This is your top...
I'm not saying that you're wrong,
film.
but I'm just explaining...
It's one of the best movies
It is, to me, one of the best movies. Anyways, getting into the characters, I know, no.
Talked about the
Please, but I let you guys talk.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go
interrupted
ahead.
at any point.
Yeah, but that's mean, I feel
Go
like.
ahead. No, it's
When
not.
it comes-
Podcasting.
We're
No,
talking.
but I want to let you guys say what you guys think first, because anyways. When it comes to Coach Carter, I know you guys criticize. What? I let you guys speak first.
You
'cause I'm
can butt in. Like, that's
Okay,
the whole
well, I'm
thing.
I think we should
butting in
organize it by topic,
Okay,
and not
when
just
it
like you
comes-
all
okay.
cover the whole movie individually.
All right, Avery, you talk for
Okay.
half an hour now. Don't say anything.
When it comes to Coach Carter and him as a coach, I understand your guys' perspective. Am I boring you?
No,
Okay,
no. but I'm-
Okay.
I
I
thought
understand
this
your
fucking hope swap for half
perspective.
an hour.
I understand your perspective of how you think he's not super internal or whatever, and that's because. Or like he doesn't show lots of internal conflict.
He's
Or
not
whatever
internal.
the fuck you guys said.
He's not internal.
Or whatever the fuck you guys said. But that, like, I say this as someone who I've had mainly one primary coach throughout my basketball time. And, like, the relationship, the player-coach relationship, he can't, if he questions his methods and stuff, you don't trust the guy anymore. You will not follow him into the game, which is one of the reasons why I believe
That's
he's so
fine.
confident
But there are
all the
scenes
time.
where he isn't with the team.
Rarely, though. And the
If
few,
there aren't,
the
then
few,
there should be
the
scenes
few,
where he
I
isn't
don't
with
think so, though. I really don't think that. This isn't like, oh, like, what conflicts would he go through? Like, he's a grown-ass man. He's established. He has a job. He has kids. He's doing financially.
I will counter with the point that, like, I'll counter myself with the point that the movie isn't about, like, him as a person. It's about him as a coach. It's about Richmond. It's about these kids. It's about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I'll accept that. Okay, fine. If
You
that's
want to see him going through like a midlife crisis? Like what,
No,
what do you want to see? I don't see.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I want.
What do you want, Swan? This movie is perfect.
Look,
I think his relationship with his son should be more fleshed out.
I think it should. Dude,
Why
that's
though?
I think the conflict with the school board is interesting and is more interesting than anything else that happens with the principal early in the movie, and that should have been the main
But
conflict.
even if so,
it comes too late in the movie.
The conflict is a professional conflict. He's not going to be like throwing a hissy fit.
It's still
It's a conflict,
It's
and
a
it should be more
Too
interesting.
much of the movie is just like him saying over and over again what he wants.
Yeah.
And it's not challenging him.
Exactly.
It's not putting him
Yeah,
into a
but he
situation
doesn't
where he
need
fights
any
for it.
challenges, does he?
A
He's
movie
a
needs
coach.
challenges.
Yeah,
a movie needs
the
conflict.
players,
No,
there are conflicts
a
within the
film needs
players, not him. He
There's
doesn't mean he's a
individual
coach.
moments of conflict. The school board thing
Yeah.
is interesting. It's
Mm-hmm.
one scene. And
You
then
know what would
immediately-
be an
immediately
interesting-
after, the kids are like, okay, we're going to do it anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know
because they
what
earned
would be
his
an
name.
interesting
And
conflict?
I agree. That's interesting. That's 5 minutes of the movie. And it
Yeah.
should be more of the movie.
An interesting conflict would be like if the principal was more like against the coach and was like, "Hey, if you keep treating these kids like this and are so like extreme with your methods, we might like fire you or something, or like we
Yeah.
might do
That
something."
was a thing. She did
For
threaten
like
that.
2 minutes.
Yeah, and he said
They
he'd
have
walk
like a
out.
20-second like dialogue exchange
Yeah.
where
Why
she
do
says
you need that
but-
for like 10 minutes?
No, because it doesn't have
No,
weight in the movie.
No, Avery, because like it
immediately
would
loses
add something to the
relevance.
movie. It would be like, wow, okay, he's extreme, and then he might also get fired. Wow, this is like insane. You know, he's actually going ahead.
But
with
he's
this.
walking out. There's no like threat there because he's like, I'll
That's
just
at the
walk
end.
out.
That's at the end of the movie. I'm talking about
That's
like
not
before
at the
that,
end of the movie. That's during the court scene.
which is like towards the end. is it
Towards
not?
the end,
Yeah.
but that's the same time that they're like, oh, we'll
And
fire
also-
you.
Okay, here's the other thing, is that he says in that court scene, if you do this, I quit.
Yes.
That conflict should have lingered a little longer.
Yeah.
He should have had to debate about if he's going to do that or not.
Yeah.
And then sit with the consequences of
I
that
think
decision.
he
says he's going to do it. He immediately quits. And a minute later, he's like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
And with the son,
But
I mean,
he's-
he catches his son, you know, making out at a pool party. I feel like that would lead to something. He'd be like, wow, hey, you're in like a basketball
Yeah.
team. You're like my
That's
son.
true.
You're like
That
the
was
coach's
also
son.
like not
That
touched upon
never comes
whatsoever.
back.
Yeah, it happens and then it's immediately dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does that speech on the bus, though,
to the
all
team.
of them. To the
but
team.
I feel like as
But-
like if you're a dad and your son's on the team, and I understand treating everyone fairly, you don't want to single your son out because that's
Yes.
bad for you and the son. But like when you go home, would you not like talk about that?
Maybe, but would that scene really add to the
It
movie?
would add to his character. It would add to
But
something.
I feel like that's so redundant and like
That's
that's,
fair.
so like
This whole movie's
not.
everything in this
It's
movie is
not
redundant.
redundant. It's
Everything's
so
redundant.
good, Alex. Alex.
I think okay, I'll accept the fact that the movie is about basketball.
Yes.
And no, and I don't just
I'll
mean
concede that point. It is in fact about basketball.
I like the way it talks about basketball, and I love the fact that he says playing basketball is a privilege. I think that's a really, genuinely, I think it's like a beautiful way of looking at basketball or at any sport. Being like, hey, playing the sport is a privilege. Because normally, you play sports, it's like, oh, okay, it's just fun and shit. But like, it's more than that.
Privilege.
It's a privilege, and it means a lot. And I like that it does that. But the thing is, the movie doesn't go all in on the basketball aspect. Like, it's not like, okay, this is a movie about basketball and the kids, that's it. Because there are scenes where you're like, hey, so you're supposed to care about the coach at this scene, you're supposed to think about how he's feeling. It's like doing so many things, and it doesn't lock in on any single one.
Sorry.
Go for it.
I feel like this is kind of going with what I was saying. Like, it feels like a very like point A to point B type of movie where it has a message that it wants to say. It says it. But then there's all of these like other aspects that could be more fleshed out to kind of give it a bit more like layers.
Exactly.
But then they don't fully flesh them out enough for it to have those layers.
Exactly. It's a perfectly fine movie. It does everything. It's just, like Sam said, it goes from point A to point B, and there's nothing more to it.
I think
it doesn't go deeper. It doesn't go deep at all.
It does, though. I agree. I disagree with you so much on that.
What,
the
like,
messages.
Okay,
that
what's
are
the message of the film?
There's so many. I've just listed like 5.
But
we've just spent the last... Can we get into the ending?
I think the reason you love the messages of this film so much is because you
'Cause
resonate with
relate
it like
to
a
it,
lot more than...
Can I give my theory?
Sure.
I think the reason she resonates so much with this movie is because she doesn't watch many movies, and so when she watches a movie that's about something, she's like, this is the deepest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But okay, no, Alex, no.
Avery, can we talk about something real quick? Yeah. And this is something you said earlier, and I feel like...
Can I talk about the ending?
Hold on, you'll get to the ending. But
the ending is so good.
I want to get into something.
Okay.
And I feel like this is what the podcast is about. And I feel like this is what this whole thing is about. Earlier, when you were doing your whole thing about the movie, you said, when I watch a movie, I don't look at angles. I don't look at cameras and stuff. So let's talk about that just a little bit.
Okay.
Does it not intrigue you or like interest you at all how a movie shot and how the way in which the movie shot contributes to like the story it's telling or the emotion it's trying to make you feel?
It's not something that I think about when watching a movie. Sure, I'll watch behind the scenes bits and everything.
No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean.
It's not something that crosses my mind when I watch the movie.
But subconsciously it does, because in Uncut Gems, the fact that it's so close up on their faces, that's what makes it claustrophobic. That's what makes it stressful.
Maybe it does.
You feeling
maybe I'm not conscious about it.
That's fair. You feeling claustrophobic during Uncut Gems. It's because the cameras are so zoomed in into their fucking faces. Like it's right there. You know, that's what you feel. That's part of why you feel claustrophobic. And I think... I don't know how to say this, but I think there should be an acknowledgement that, okay, it's the way this movie shot that's making me feel this way.
Sure.
You know? Do you agree with that?
Sure. Yeah, in Uncut Gems. But, like, I think there's so much more than just how it's shot that adds to emotion.
Just the way a movie shot doesn't make a movie. There's more to it. There's characters, there's story.
It is an element. I'll agree with you there.
But it's a really significant element of the film. Yeah. I feel like it's really interesting to think about all the other things that go into making a movie than just the story. Yes, the story counts for a lot, but there's so much more going on. There's the acting, there's the way it's shot, there's like the score, there's all these things that add up to it. And maybe when you're watching a really good movie, you don't notice these things, right? You'd be like, oh, I don't really know what's going on, I'm just focused on the story. But it's because these elements are so good and strong that you're able to focus on the story that much, you know? And you don't think about it. But I feel like this is what the podcast is about. It's about making you look at like, you know, films a little differently than you do.
Yeah.
And
but this is a film I recommended though. Continue. Okay. Sorry. But I'm saying like I'd see it through my lens.
Of course, that's fine. I'm not, like, that's fine. But I feel like there should be a little bit of like, okay, this is Uncut Gems is claustrophobic because of the way it's shot. And I feel like that line of thinking could lead you into thinking like, okay, I can appreciate and acknowledge the way other movies are shot and how they enhance the storytelling or like the emotions the movie is trying to convey. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like what the podcast is about, right? It's about trying to, because we can't get her into our taste of films, because she doesn't look at films that way. You and Avery have a completely different understanding of films and a completely different way of watching films, right? When you watch a film, you'll be like, okay, that's a good shot. I'm looking at the way the camera is moving. I'm looking at the way this is happening and that. She doesn't care about that. She doesn't look at that. And I feel like the only way she can even get close to liking the movies that you like or I like or Sam like is by acknowledging and appreciating those factors that go into making a movie. Factors more than just the storytelling and more than the plot. I feel like there's a lot more than the plot happening in a movie.
But, she also has to reel us into seeing movies the way she does, which is by not thinking about any of that.
And it's interesting because you talking so passionately about this movie is actually making me appreciate it more. It genuinely is. No, because I'm like, you know what? It's Hope Slop, fine, but it's good Hope Slop.
I think it's easy to, when you see so many movies like us, to become cynical of these kinds of movies where it's like, I've seen so many movies of just these like nice messages, but like not much more than that. And sometimes you do have to appreciate that like those movies do hit really hard for some people. Yeah. Some people look at a movie that we would look at as being like, decent, and they would look at it and say, this is, really connecting with me as a masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly. Me. And I think that is interesting. And I completely get that point of view, and I think it's interesting. And I think it makes me appreciate the film more.
It makes me understand how a movie like Coda can win Best Picture.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
People look at it and they go, oh, I like Hope Slop. I like feeling good.
Maybe Hope Slop's fine. Yeah. And like, I know. And like another thing, and this isn't related to this episode, but like sometimes, we'll talk about movies and you'll be like, oh yeah, this movie's got so much symbolism and stuff. And
I say that?
You say, oh, there's...
I'm sorry,
okay. You say, oh, there's symbolism, you guys can get into that and stuff, and then you brush it off and you move on to like what you actually want to talk about.
Okay, you say it derogatorily.
You say it derogatorily.
I bet you guys would like the symbolism.
Yeah, like you guys would like the symbolism.
Dude.
Like symbolism isn't like, oh my god, there's philosophical life lessons this movie's teaching me. I need to like really like write like an essay about this. No, it's just like, how does it make you feel, you know? Mm-hmm. And I feel like you shouldn't look at it as like, oh, symbolism, you guys can get into that. I don't do that stuff. I'll watch fun movies.
Because movies can make you feel all the same things you're feeling about this movie without having a character just give monologues about how you're supposed to feel about it.
Do you not think it's more interesting that, okay, Coach gives this whole speech about, hey, life, like, you need to really, like, focus on your life. You need to study and stuff. You need to be students, right? Do you not think it would be a lot more interesting if a movie made you think that without actually saying anything?
Yeah,
like, if it was just like telling you a story.
There's lots of movies that do that.
Yeah, if it was just like telling you a story, maybe like a cautionary tale or something, and you watch the movie and at the end you're like, maybe I should do better in school. Maybe I should improve my life in this way. Do you not think that would be more interesting and more effective than a guy in a movie just saying that?
I'm not saying it isn't. I don't we have different ways of viewing movies. Is that your whole point?
We do.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like,
of course not. No.
What is this tangent leading to? Genuinely,
it's just interesting to think about.
I'm just saying, like, it's
thinking
like,
out loud.
I'm just saying that, like, yeah, of course we have different ways of looking at movies, but I think the whole point of this podcast is for me to look at movies the way you do, and for you to look at movies the way I do, and that's the way I look at movies.
Okay,
like things don't have to be said out loud. You know. And I think
disagreeing
with
you.
I don't need a character in Uncut Gems to talk about how bad gambling is.
Exactly. Yeah. Right? You watch Uncut Gems, you're like, wow, maybe I shouldn't gamble because this guy's life is falling apart. You know?
Sure.
You don't need like a big speech. You don't need Howard to come out like, guys, gambling.
But maybe I prefer the big monologues. Maybe the big monologues are more impactful for me.
That's fine, but I think you should be more open to like.
I just think if that's the case,
maybe your preferred medium is like a TED Talk rather than a movie.
Sure. Well, no. I get what you're saying. But like,
read a fucking article or
something. we have different ways of viewing movies.
But
that's fine.
Like, do you really think Coach Carter is like one of the most like impactful, effective movies you've ever seen?
Yes.
Really?
Genuinely.
Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Anyways.
That's fine. It's just like fascinating to me.
Yeah. Can I talk about the ending for a second?
I'm
sorry. Okay, no, this ending needs to be talked about.
This is our longest podcast.
Listen. Okay, so at the end, basically, they get invited to this tournament, and they're up against their biggest rivals.
Yep.
I forget the name of it. Like whatever. And there's this whole, they're down at the third quarter by a big amount. And there's this whole thing of you expect them to make the glorious comeback of like they win last minute. Right. They get the finishing shot, but they don't.
Yeah.
And I think that
they lose in the end.
They lose in the end. And I think that is so deep and so good because then he does the whole, well, what we accomplish is beyond the basketball
Avery,
court.
It's a true story.
I know.
This happened in real life.
Yes.
They didn't write that.
I know.
So I feel
but it's such a good story.
I understand what you mean though, because I feel like you hear sometimes these like real stories, and like I think like what I found about this movie that I didn't really like is just the fact that what it's trying to like tell you and like how you're supposed to feel about it is like very spoon-fed to you because it is through all of these big monologues where, you know, Coach Carter's being very clear about the lesson that he's giving to these kids, and he's basically giving the lesson to you as the like viewer as well. So you're really getting it all. But like I agree that like these real life stories, like even if like, you know, they're real, you can get something from them, you know?
You absolutely can. But like to say that, wow, that's such a deep moment. It happened in real life.
That doesn't mean it's not deep.
I know, but like it's like a real thing. It's not something like that was written. It's not like a story. It's not like following
It is a story.
Script.
I get what you're saying. It's not an artificial. Someone came up with that. It was based off of a real thing, but it still has the same effect, though. Like, if that was, like, not a real story versus a real story, I'd still feel the same thing. Because, like, they get into this whole thing about what we accomplish is so much more than basketball and how all the lessons that you learn are applicable to your everyday life and how that impacts their future. And I just think that's very deep.
I actually genuinely...
And that's my end of
while watching the film, like, at that ending sequence, I was like, I really, like... when I saw that they lost, I was like, wow,
that's... you expect them to win.
Yeah, no, I did expect them to win. I did.
Yes.
And they lost. And I was like, wow, that's actually a nice ending to the movie. Yeah. It actually allows them to implement the lessons they learned throughout the film into their life. But also, I wouldn't give the movie props for that. Because this happened in real life. You're adapting a true story.
I understand
the movie doesn't deserve credit for showing you how things happened. Because that's what the movie's doing. It's its job. That's what it's supposed to do.
I understand that.
I appreciate that if it's able to elicit some emotion in you and be like, wow, this is so deep, I'm crying and stuff. That's fine. That's fair. But, like, it's a true story. And I feel like to say, I
think it's fine. It doesn't matter. I think the problem is more so that, like, again, we've seen so many movies that are exactly that.
Yeah.
Like Rocky, he loses at the end of Rocky.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that's, like, particularly unique, but it's fine. It's effective in this movie, I think, you know?
It's fine. It's just, it's nothing that makes the movie stand out to me. That's all. Like, it's not like, oh God, like, wow, they lost. I feel like I'm sounding really negative about this movie. I do like it. I think it's
need to just shit on things for the sake of shitting on it.
No, I'm not.
I'm not shitting on it. I fucking love this movie.
I feel like I'm sounding overly negative. I do like the movie. I think it's fun, and it may not sound that way, but I did actually like the movie. Yeah. You know. But it's just the point I'm making is that it is, like Alex said, hope stop, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm learning to accept hope slop.
Okay. So final ratings.
Also, you see their growth in the end. I'll end it there.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Final ratings.
That's the movie.
Alex, go for it.
I give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it's good. It's a positive rating. I think it's good.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good for Alex.
I also gave it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Like it was enjoyable. Like I didn't mind watching it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm losing my mind. I hate this so much. But like, yeah, it's like it says what it wants to say, and like, it was good. Yeah.
And believe it or not, I also gave it a 6.
We all have the same rating.
It's one of the most 6.
Yeah, it's a
the
very
most average run-of-the-mill movie like ever.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, you know what? I would consider like a 6.5, or maybe even a 7.
I wouldn't. It's
purely because of how passionate you sounded about the movie, and I appreciate that. I love that. So just because of that, I'll say 6.5. Just for
hell
that,
yeah.
You know?
It is nice to. I always love hearing like when people are super passionate about movies, because there are some movies that I really like that like some of my friends watch and they're like, oh, I didn't really get it, but I'm like, oh, but I feel so strongly about this movie, and I tell them about it, they're like, oh, like all these different things.
Yeah,
It's like,
and so like there are lessons in the movie and stuff, and I completely, the thing is with this movie, I completely understand why this could be so effective for someone. I completely
Sure. Yeah.
With something like How to Build a Better Boy. I don't know why you would like that movie. I don't know why you would like that movie. I really don't. I can't wrap my head around that. But with this, I'm like, okay, that's fair. If someone says to me Coach Carter is their favorite film, I'd be like, okay, either you don't watch that many films, or it's like a childhood, like nostalgic, thing, and that's fine. Let's connection. Okay,
No. Wait. So what would you give it?
Oh,
right.
Easy, 10 out of 10. If I could, 11 out of 10. It's to me like genuinely a perfect movie.
Now, connecting the films, finding a link between these films. Let's talk about that a little bit. Coach Carter and Uncut Gems.
Basketball.
That's
the main one.
on the surface, but like, let's look a little deeper. Like, talk about the characters or something, and the subject matter the films deal with. Is there anything that connects them?
Someone gets shot and dies in both
This
movies.
is true. This is true.
That's a very good message. Sorry.
What?
No, because he's like, look at the message.
I didn't say
I wasn't
messages.
listening to him.
Yeah.
I was just thinking myself.
All right,
I
on
don't
a
say
deeper
messages.
level.
Do we think that Coach Carter says anything about placebo in the movie?
I don't think Uncut Gems is saying that. I think you just made all that up.
Did I? Okay. Maybe.
I would say one thing is that there are consequences to your actions. I think that's apparent in both movies.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, nice.
You know what? Sure.
There are consequences to your actions. Yeah. This is true. Yeah.
This is true.
Coach, the Coach Carter, like, it's really
With the
heavy
players,
on that, with the players.
Yeah, you get locked out of the gym, and with Howard, he goes into debts and stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like, something you said earlier about, like, the kids being motivated to, like, do better in their lives and stuff. I think that's interesting because I feel like they know that they have to be better, And it's just Coach Carter is like a catalyst for, like, for that. Like, they do want to be good. And I feel like internally, if you don't want to do something, you will not do it. And nothing is going to change your mind, really.
You have to motivate
But they wanted to change. They wanted to do better. They wanted to do, go places. They did not want to end up in jail and stuff like that. Or just get shot on the streets. So they used Coach Carter as a catalyst for being like, okay, let's better our lives. And I think Uncut Gems does that, but the complete opposite. It does the negative of that. And their lives worsen and stuff. Take the money as an example. Take the gym as an example. Take the watches. Take anything. It's interesting. It's like a negative of that movie. I'm saying this as if they're like counterparts. They're not, but And obviously basketball. Uncut Gems doesn't talk about the beauty of basketball. Coach Carter does. And I think that's cool. What position did you play?
I was a shooting guard.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Insane.
Curry.
Yeah. Crazy.
What did you play? All right, you were the water boy.
Sorry. I was the point guard. But okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't see you as a point guard. I see you as like a 3-4 type, like power forward or.
No, I was the point
He's
guard.
a little bit taller than that. Sorry. That was a bad joke.
No, it's a great joke. 3-4, because anyway.
I'm gonna go home.
Well, we're all gonna go home because that's the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, stay fresh.
Oh my god.
That's not gonna be a thing.
It is. Third episode. Avery, can you please get the fan? Please.
Oh my god. And thank you. Bye.